Couple dollars, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. This is Maloney's Moneyline on the Brew Party podcast. It's week 9 of Maloney's Moneyline. We're feeling fine. Ryan's looking fine, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that quarter zip. Jesus, blue is your color. Ryan, how are you doing this week, man?
I'm doing great. I mean, I could be better, but you know what? We're going to have a good week. So I'm feeling good.
He's feeling good. He could be better. Ready for a good week. Ryan has gone 3-5 the past 3 weeks of Maloney's Moneyline. Not the results that we are necessarily looking for. I will give you credit though, because your wins last week were like, it was like Titans Moneyline. You hit on the Cowboys. You had them. All of your picks last week that hit were underdogs. You had Titans money line, you had Michigan State +4, and you had Cowboys +2.5. So Ryan, I think you're a sharp. You just having a down week. The public does win sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, again, it comes back to college football. I mean, I took the Gators and the Georgia Gators over. We don't really have to talk about that, but yeah, so probably not. I should probably stop betting with my teams and just stick to the data.
Don't bet against, or just don't bet against Georgia. I think that is
it's a terrible idea.
The story here.
I felt like 14.5 or 14 was just way too much for that rivalry, but yeah, I mean, once again, I'm proved wrong by Georgia.
Ryan, I kind of love Georgia -38 this week.
I know. I thought about it.
Missouri is yet to cover the spread this year, so that's one to look at. Let's update our records real quick, as much as we probably don't want to do this. So we are in season 2 of Maloney's Moneyline. Our combined record so far on the year is 70, 64, and 2 plus 0.2 units. So if you were to bet $100 on each one of Ryan and I's bets throughout this 9 or 8 weeks so far, I think you would have like $23 left in your bankroll right now. So pretty awesome stuff. Let's just tell you, it's not me. I am 37-30-1 plus 3.8 units on the year. I'm 4-4 last week. The week before that, I believe I went 6-2. Looking to keep that good juju going. I know even week isn't the best, but it's, I take an even week over a negative week any day. So 37-30-1, that is my record. If we dive a little bit deeper into that, because I like to do that. My favorites are 7-1. My underdogs are 6-2. Overs are 3-5. Unders 4-3-1. Locks of the week are 5-3. My general picks are 12-16. NFL picks, I'm 25-21-1. College football, I am 12-9. Like I said, 37-30-1. That's good for 54%, which if you're a gambler, 54% ain't bad. Ryan, he is 33-34-1. He is negative. This is the first time Ryan has been negative on the show since I think like week 2 or 3 of season 1 of Maloney's Moneyline. So he's going to pick it up. He promises. We have winners coming this week. Just been a little bit of a rough patch for Mr. 3-5. We have his favorites this year are 4-4. Underdogs are 5-3. Overs are 4-3-1. His unders are 5-3 as well. Locks are 4-4. His general picks, his other picks are 11-17. We're still really good at the NFL, 27-21, 6-13-1 when picking college football. That is just what's really been biting Mr. Maloney in the ass. And we have his record at 33-34-1. That's 49% on the year. He is -3.5 units. Looking to buck that trend this week. So before we get into what I want to talk about, we've already had these records. We're going to stay on this numbers theme here. So I was looking up some college football and some NFL betting trends this week just to kind of see, just gauge, because I was curious to see, are underdogs hitting, what is doing the best. So NFL percentages against the spread, away teams are 67, 55 and 1, hitting at 54.9%. Home teams 55, 67 and 1, 45%. Favorites are hitting at a rate of 44% in the NFL, only 54, 68 and 1. Underdogs 68, 54 and 1, 55.7% this year. The craziest stat, away underdogs in the NFL in 2021 are 43, 30 and 1 against the spread, 58.9%. That is a trend to watch, Ryan, and it's one that I kind of employed for at least one of my picks for this week. Home dogs are hitting at 51%. They're 25 and 24. Home favorites are 30, 43 and 1. Just some, I know that's a lot of numbers there, but I saw that 58%. I did not realize that the away teams are covering. If you look at the over-under percentages, non-overtime games, there have been 45 overs and 65 unders. So 40% of the time it's going over, 59.1% of the time it is going under. Did not realize that as well. All games, it's 55 to 67, 54% under, 45% over. If we move over to college football, against the spread numbers. So here it's not really anything super significant. Home underdogs in college football are 95, 81 and 5, hitting at 54%. That's really the best rate there. Home favorites are 50.8%. Away teams are struggling to cover this year, 48.3% in all of college football. Favorites are only 49.3% as well. And underdogs are 292, 284, and 12 overall in college football this year, 50.7%. So in both leagues, Ryan, we have the underdogs are covering way more than the favorites. Just something I like to look at, something I think is interesting as well. So that's enough of that. We have a huge weekend of sports. We have got NBA action. We have college football, NFL, and one of the biggest UFC cards in recent memory. Ryan is a huge UFC fan, so I always love asking and picking his brain about the fights. UFC 268 on Saturday. We have a few picks for that card on today's show from Mr. Maloney himself. Ryan, without like spoiling your picks, can you give a quick preview of like what what are the fights we should be tuning into on 268?
Yeah, one fight that I'm looking forward to, Justin Gaethje's first fight back since his loss to Khabib. He's such an electric fighter to watch. I thought that he gave Khabib, when it came down to it, he lost round 2 to submission, but I thought going into that, he was going to give Khabib the best fight that anybody could have. But other than that, the co-main event, Rose Namajunas, I think that's how you say her name, versus Zhang. And Zhang is one of the all-time best UFC fights ever. But this is a rematch between Rose and Zhang. I believe Rose knocked her out or TKO'd her the first round last time. And I think the very first time I ever made an appearance on the show, we did a favorite nicknames in the UFC, and Rose was one of mine at Thug. But she's awesome. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. It's always a great fight when it's two great women fighters. And then obviously the main event, we have the rematch between Usman and Colby Covington. Another all-timer. Last time they fought, Usman won pretty late in the last round by a TKO. So yeah, it's going to be a great card. There's a ton of other smaller fights that just, they loaded this card up. So Should be a good one. But yeah, I mean, those are those are the few that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean that we know there's bad blood in that Usman and Covington fight.
Usman pretty much broke his jaw last time, so that was
absolutely
awesome.
fucked him up. Covington's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say about it. So that's gonna
He's
be
a great
fun to
heel,
see.
but
It's just like ugh. So I mean that'll be fun to watch. I think Billy Q and Shane Burgos will be fun to watch as well. You've got Frankie Edgar stepping into the ring. Yeah, that Zhang and Namajunas fight was that no. Okay, no, I'm thinking of Juszczyk or whatever her name was, or with the
Joanna.
Yeah. I don't.
That
think
was like that was the one I was talking about. Like literally one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. Like just teeing off on each other the whole time. But yeah, last time they fought was actually the co-main event to Usman Masvidal, and Rose won KO TKO in the first 2 minutes of round one.
Right, and was that the one where she started crying?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was.
She lost the belt, and then she came back, and she got it back, and it's just an awesome moment. It's hard not to love her too. She's awesome.
Yeah, fan favorite Rose Namajunas. Okay, well, here's a question. Hi, I have a question. In your opinion, what is the second best basketball league in the world? Australian, Euro League, or South America? I think it'd be Euro. I believe it's like in Italy or Spain. But Australia's pretty good. They have a lot of good up and coming players, but I think it's like Spain and Italy are the number two. I could be wrong. I don't know a lot about South American basketball, but I don't think it's one of the
it's not on my radar.
I do appreciate the comment. I do not know how to say that, so I'm not going to attempt to. So thank you for tuning in. So, Ryan, let's get to our picks. This is Maloney's Moneyline, week number 9. Like I said, so we have 16 total picks, and it's not just football this week, folks. We've got college football, NFL, UFC 268, and even some NBA picks as well. And plus the return of the Maloney's Moneyline Parlay, 4 legs, 2 each from me and Ryan. It could be anything. He said to bet with your heart. I let Ryan set the parameters for this parlay. It's plus 879. So we're going to give our picks, and then we will give out that parlay. This is the week that it hits, Ryan. I'm feeling it. In the words of my Lord and Savior, Barstool Big Cat, if you don't love the board, you got to make the board love you. That's what we're doing this week. Ryan needs a big week. I'm coming in at 37-30-1. Ryan's coming in at 33-34-1. And away we go. Ryan, your favorite of the week for week 9.
All right, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills minus 14.5 versus the Jaguars. Yeah, I mean, I just can't keep myself from betting against the Jaguars, and plus it's the Bills. Bills are 4-2-1 against the spread this year, and the Jaguars are 2-5. So, yeah, I think the Bills could win this by a few touchdowns. So I'm riding with the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills. Yeah, the Jaguars, obviously they get Urban's huge first win in London a couple weeks ago. Then they just get absolutely run over last week. Urban's like, I did not see that coming at all. Obviously, the Bills, in my opinion, I think they're the best team in the AFC. Obviously, that is still up in the air because we got a lot of time to go. There are a lot of very good teams in the AFC, but I do have a soft spot for the Bills. We have a soft spot for the Bills on the show. So that is where Ryan is going with his first pick. Bills minus 14.5 at Jacksonville. I think they actually weren't they minus 14 last week against Miami, and they ended up covering it at the very end. Speaking of fucking blown covers, the Jets, dude, last night. Brew should be 15-10 right now. They had that backdoor cover. What was a fumble, interception, turnover on like the 10-yard line. I really thought we were about to get that backdoor. Slammed it right shut. Also shouldn't count because we thought we were betting on Mike White and he gets hurt. Not fair, but I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Josh Johnson did look pretty good. Anyway,
everybody in the Jets system looks better than Zach Wilson.
Hot seat. So I am going to go with the Raiders -3 at the New York Giants. Sorry to my Giants people. You guys know who you are. I just don't trust them. Las Vegas is 4-3 against the spread on the year, which I know that's not great. The Giants, I believe, are also, the Giants are 4-4 against the spread. They did hang with Kansas City last week. I don't necessarily think Kansas City is as good as everybody thinks they are. Well, I don't know if that's the right way to put it, because a lot of people have been questioning Kansas City. Let's just say I'm one of the people questioning Kansas City. The Raiders are playing well right now. I know, obviously, everything that happened with, Ruggs this past week is terrible, and you just pray for everybody involved. So, the team, they're probably thinking about that, but it just comes down to me not trusting the Giants, and I'm taking the Raiders -3 because I don't think the line is big enough. So that is my pick. That is my favorite of the week. We go now to our Scooby-Doo underdogs of the week. Ryan's favorite pick. We all know that. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to go with the Cardinals money line at the 49ers +104. This one was just kind of a bet with your heart. I like the plus money here. Cardinals coming off of a tough loss, but right? Didn't they just lose the Packers last week?
Yeah, that was fucking dumb.
Yeah, but whatever. We move on. We advance. Cardinals are going to beat the 49ers this week. I know it's not against the spread, but 49ers 2-5 against the spread, and the Cardinals are 6-2. So if you don't want to go money line, go spread. I think Cardinals win either way.
Right. I mean, you're going to tell, how do you not take Cardinals money line here? The team that only has one loss of the year going, I mean, it is on the road divisional game, but the 49ers are coming off a win against the Bears. Like, you and I know how unimpressive that is. Hammer Cardinals money line, hammer Cardinals spread at the 49ers +104. That's Ryan's underdog for this week. I'm going to college football for my underdog, another one that I don't really understand why they're an underdog. I'm taking Wake Forest money line at North Carolina. North Carolina is 4-4 on the year. Wake Forest, I believe, is sitting at 7-0. They're either 7-0 or 8-0. They're undefeated. They're 7-1 against the spread, I believe. They're one of the best offenses in the NCAA. There isn't going to be much defense played in this game. I think both teams average like 350 plus on offense, and they give up almost 400 on defense. I mean, we saw this Wake Forest team give up like 50 points to Army, which isn't great. I know North Carolina can score the ball, but I just think Wake Forest at the end of the day is a better overall football team in this game. So I'm taking Wake Forest money line. It's as simple as undefeated team going to a team that's 500. That is, they are in the same state. A little bit of a rivalry here. They do play in different. They're both in the ACC. They play in one plays in the Atlantic, the other plays in the Coastal. Playing this as a non-conference game for the second year in a row, which is really weird. But that is my pick. Wake Forest. Let's go Deeks. Money line +116. So we move to our overs of the week. Ryan, you go ahead.
All right, I'm going to go Auburn, Texas A&M over 49.5. This just kind of feels like a very high scoring SEC game. Last year it was 31-20, so would have just barely made the over last year, but I can see this being similar. It's probably going to be a close game, a nice top 25 matchup, but I don't know. I just kind of like that line, 49.5. Nice even 50 to get the over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this feels like a big time SEC game.
Yeah, I mean, you got the number 12 Auburn Tigers versus the 13 Aggies. But I mean, as we've seen this week, the rankings don't matter. Like, they're going to put in who they want to put in.
Yeah, the fucking here. If you want to hear a nice rant from the Stands College Football Show, myself, Tom Scavetta, Brian McCardle, we went in on the College Football Playoff Committee on this week's edition of our College Game Day show. You can find that on YouTube or Facebook. Just search From the Stands College Football. Yeah, we don't need to get in those rankings right now because that will just be an entire show. And I think I could go all day, but just fire the college football playoff committee into the sun. So Auburn, Texas A&M over 49.5 is Ryan's over for this week. I am going back to the NFL as well. It's the highest total of the week, but there are two teams that love to put up points, two teams that are playing really well. Tennessee, Los Angeles over 53.5. This is the Sunday night football game. Sunday night football are the primetime overs. I don't know the exact number, but I feel like they've been hitting at a pretty decent rate. Both of these teams, if you look at how they are doing again, like as far as totals, LA overs are 5-2-1 on the year. Tennessee overs are 5-3. Give me that every day of the week. I know Derrick Henry is out. They did just sign Adrian Peterson. I think they also got Devonta Freeman, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I don't know if Julio is all the way back. I still think these offenses can put up some points. Give me the over 53.5 in Tennessee and LA. Now we move to our unders. Life's too short to bet the under, but we do it once a week anyway. Ryan, you go first.
All right, I'm going to go Texans, Dolphins under 46.5. Both teams 4-4 for their over-unders on the year, but I mean, you know how I pick these unders. I look at a game, I feel like it's a bad game, so I'm going to go with this one. Probably going to be one of those ones on Red Zone that they don't really show too often, and we just kind of forget ever happened. So, but still go Dolphins.
Still go Dolphins, of course. I forgot to put that up there, just like Red Zone is going to forget to put this game on television. Like Ryan said, Houston, Miami, under 46.5. When I was looking at this game, Miami's getting 5.5 points. I think they cover that, but it's like, I don't know. We saw LA blow that 16.5 last Sunday because Houston just out of nowhere in the fourth quarter scores like 2 touchdowns in a row, onside kick. And I don't know if they scored. Yeah, they finished with 22 points, end up covering the 16, a hell of a backdoor. So Ryan is taking the under in this game. I also like that as well. So under 46.5, Houston, Miami, -110 odds there. So I am going Philly and the Chargers under 49.5. I think this is too many points. We've seen the Chargers kind of struggle the past couple weeks. I know Philly just put up a shitload of points last week, but they were playing Detroit. So that is not really impressive to me. If you look at their over-under trends, so on the year, Chargers unders are 5-2, or unders are 5-2 in Chargers games. They are 4-4 in Philly games, so they've been obviously going both ways. See what I did there, Ryan? So Chargers 5-2, or yeah, Chargers unders 5-2. I just don't think there are going to be that many points scored in this game. I see this as like a 24-10 game, or like maybe 24-17, something like that. I just don't see it going over. So yeah, that is mine. Philly, LA under 49.5. So now we go to our locks of the week. Ryan, you better lock it up.
All right, I'm going to lock it up here. I'm going to go Patriots -3.5 at Carolina. Both teams 4-4 against the spread, but I think the Patriots are looking, I mean, obviously not back to Tom Brady days, but they're looking like the Patriots again. And I just really can't trust Sam Darnold. Is he hurt? I don't even know if he's playing.
I don't even know.
But yeah, who cares? I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Like what? Yeah, this one was another one that I saw on your card and was like, it's one that I liked for sure. It is one that the public is on as well. Patriots -3.5 at Carolina is the pick. Do we have a Stephon Gilmore revenge game? I totally forgot he was on the Panthers until like last week when he made a play. So Patriots -3.5 at Carolina is Ryan's lock of the week. He's going to lock that up. I am staying in the same game as before. I'm locking in the Chargers -1.5 at Philly. I know they have struggled the past couple weeks, but I don't trust this Philly team. I'm sorry. I still think the Chargers are a good football team. Maybe not as good as we all thought at the beginning of the year, but I still think this is a disrespectful line, Ryan. I think -1.5. I think they cover this. I think this is an overreaction to their loss last week and Philly's just clown show over the Lions. So I am going to take the Chargers -1.5. If you look at their against the spread numbers on the year, the Chargers are 4-3 against the spread, so not great. Philadelphia's 4-4 against the spread. So those numbers, I guess, don't really help me, but I think coming off of a loss, hold on, I have this right here. Coming off of a loss, Chargers are 1-1 against the spread, not the number I thought it was going to be. So numbers be damned. I'm locking it in. I'm feeling this one with my heart. Chargers -1.5 at Philadelphia at -110 odds there. So those are our 5 picks. Now we each have our general picks. They can be whatever we want, and then we will get you our parlay plus 879 this week. So Ryan, I'll let you start us off.
All right, I'm going to go with the Cowboys -9.5 versus Denver. Cowboys are 7-0 against the spread, so I think I'm just going to keep riding them until it doesn't hit anymore.
It doesn't work. Yep.
Yeah, I mean Denver is 4-4, but I mean Denver hasn't really looked that great. They haven't really beat anybody amazing, and the Cowboys are looking great. I don't know if Dak's back this week, but I think he should be. If he is, then hammer it. I mean, I think they definitely win this by 10.
Absolutely. Cowboys -9.5 versus Denver. We did just see, obviously, the huge move from Denver this past week, shipping Von Miller off to LA, getting 2 second-day NFL draft picks, a second and a third round pick in this next year's draft. I mean, the Rams they are just future me problems, just selling away all of their draft picks. They don't need them. So that's how that went. Check out my episode with Ross Allen from Fourth and Long Radio if you want to hear more in-depth analysis about that Von Miller trade, what he meant to the Broncos, what he's going to do for the Rams, and what's kind of next in Denver as well. So the Cowboys -9.5 versus Denver. If it's not Dak, it's Cooper Rush, and who doesn't want to bet on a guy named Cooper Rush? I mean, come on. That is Ryan's first pick, so I'm going back to college football with mine. It is also a team in Texas. Let's go Roadrunners. UTSA -11.5 at UTEP. Huge game in Texas for these two directional schools. I guess they're not really directional schools because they're not. Yeah, no, they're not directional schools because they're San Antonio and El Paso, 2 branches of the Texas university system going up against each other, and it is a big one. UTSA is number 16 in the country, despite they are undefeated. The College Football Playoff Committee snubs them, doesn't rank them in the College Football Playoff rankings, which is fucking bullshit. First undefeated team, I think, to not be ranked in those, which is ridiculous. If you go to their against the spread numbers, the Roadrunners are one of the best teams in the country at covering the spread. They are 7-1 so far against the spread. They're 8-0 on the year. Texas El Paso isn't bad at covering the spread either. They're 6-2 against the spread and 6-2 straight up. This is going to be a good game, but I think just for me, it comes down to UTSA is averaging like 40 points a game. Like I think it's like 38 or 39. Their past 3 games, they've put up like 54, 56, and 43 points. UTEP hasn't beat anybody that I'm super impressed by. The one good team that they played, and good is like a really shaky thing here, Ryan, is Boise State. And Boise State hung 55 points on them. Boise State's 4-4. I think this good UTSA team goes into El Paso, and I think they get the win by at least 2 touchdowns. I love Frank Harris. Sincere McCormick is electric in the backfield as well. So give me Texas San Antonio, 7-1 against the spread on the year, undefeated season, best season in school history. It continues, big rivalry game. I mean, this is the first season that UTEP has been like worth a shit in quite a while too. So this is obviously a huge game for them. And they're not bad at covering the spread. I've just been on the Roadrunners all year. It's kind of like Ryan says with what he just said with the Cowboys. I'm just going to ride it till the wheels fall off. So give me the Roadrunners, number 16, Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, -11.5 at UTEP. -109 there. So, Ryan, your second to last pick. Exciting. We're going to UFC, buddy.
Yeah, my first of the year. So let's hope these hit. Hold on, sorry. Let me just look and make sure I got this right. But I'm going to go with, so I don't know if you want to change it because it's probably going to change a bunch, but Rose is even +100 now.
Okay.
But so I'm just, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I got
Just
her.
whatever you get it at.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to go Rose money line versus Zhang. I mean, I just really like her, and she's awesome to watch, and I could definitely see her knocking her out again. I'm a little hesitant to choose her by knockout or choose that deciding victory because it's just so unpredictable in the UFC. But I'm going to go with her to win. So, just taking that belt back home with her.
You heard the man. Rose Namajunas money line versus Zhang. He originally had it at -106. It's moved to even +100. Like he said, this line is probably going to move a lot up until they get into the octagon and settle this with their fists. But he is taking Rose to defend her title. I think this is going to be an awesome fight in the UFC. So I am going to the NBA. My first NBA pick that's on my card and not just on the parlay. So this is tonight, Friday night, the Grizzlies money line at the Washington Wizards. So I know I'm taking the money line. I think the Grizzlies are +1.5. If I'm not mistaken, they are 6-2 against the spread on the year. I mean, I love Ja Morant. We saw him go toe-to-toe with Golden State earlier this year. Not earlier this year, but it was like earlier this week. It was like him and Steph battling. I think they each ended up with 30 plus. We have the Wizards obviously being led by Bradley Beal. I think he's averaging like 27 points a game. This is in Washington. Washington's 5-3 against the spread on the year. I'm taking Memphis. I know the spread numbers don't really matter if I'm taking the money line. So let me get their actual records here. Just so Memphis, they both come into the game at 5-3. I think it's a big game. I like Memphis here on the road. Money line tonight, +102. That is my second to last pick. So we each got one more, and then we will go into our parlay for the weekend. So Ryan, you give me your last one. I'll give you my last one, and then we'll get out.
All right, I'm going to go with another UFC pick. I'm going to go Usman to win by decision, +165. I didn't want to just pick him straight up to win because he's like, I think -3 or -400, and that's just not really worth it. That's not what we do on this show. So I'm going to go Usman win by decision. Last time these two fought, Usman won by KO, TKO with 50 seconds left in the fifth round. So almost went the distance last time, but I think this is going to be a battle. I think this is going to be an all-time fight. So I'm going to take him to take the belt back with him by decision.
Absolutely. I got to root for this now. I do kind of just want him to knock him the fuck out. I would love to see him knock Colby Covington's fucking teeth in. So that is Ryan's pick, Usman to win by decision versus Colby Covington, +165. Even if you're not a UFC fan, you should consider watching this card, buying this card. It's going to be an awesome night of fights. It's absolutely fucking loaded. All right, so my last pick, I'm going back to the NFL, and it's one that I'm not super sure of, but I think it might work out. Falcons +6 at New Orleans. Let me tell you why. I was talking about the NFL betting trends earlier. Away underdogs are 43-30-1 against the spread this year, 58.9%. This is purely me testing out that number, seeing if I can get it to hit. I also think it's kind of a letdown spot for New Orleans. They're coming off that big win over Tampa Bay, but they do have the questions at quarterback. Is Taysom Hill fully healthy? I think on the injury report injury report as of today. He's still listed as questionable. If he is good to go, I'm sure he will be the starter. If not, it's Trevor Siemian. I know the Falcons just lost Calvin Ridley this past week as well, which is unfortunate, but I love the Falcons +6 here. I don't know if it's going to work. This is just purely me, like I said, testing out that 58.9% rate of away underdogs hitting against the spread. So those are our 16 picks for week 9 of Maloney's Moneyline on the Brew Party podcast, episode 85. Let's go to our parlay, Ryan. So this is, I believe, the 4th or 5th time we have tried this now. We have been so close. We missed just one on our NBA parlay. Last week, we missed 2. Of course, Keenan Allen scored in like the first quarter. Matthew Stafford, of course, went over 2.5 touchdown passes. Joe Burrow misses his over by 6 yards. And Josh Allen, I think he missed his over by like 15 to 20. So we were close, just not our week, but we're back this week. We've got something different. It is 4 different sports leagues. It spans from tonight all the way to Sunday. So it's a little treat for us. We've got something every night to look forward to. Like I said, plus 879. So 2 picks from me, 2 picks from Ryan. Let's get it on. So I am taking Pittsburgh team total over 42.5. That is the Pittsburgh Panthers, not the Steelers. Panthers over 42.5 minus 110. I think if they're at Duke. So obviously Ryan had them last week. Of course, Miami gets that stupid upset over them, which isn't great, but Duke fucking sucks. This is a bounce back game for Pittsburgh. They can still make it to the ACC championship game. They're averaging at 39 points a game, I want to say. I really should have had that number written down. I love Pitt here. Kenny Pickett is a Heisman candidate. I think they just try to put on a show. I think they just bounce. They just try to get right. This is a get right game for them. Over 42.5. Duke has given up at least 40 points in their last 3 games, I believe. If not 3, last 2 games. Duke sucks. Riding with Pittsburgh over 42.5 points here. And then this game, so that's on Saturday. This game, Clippers minus 2.5 at Minnesota tonight. It's another NBA game tonight. Minnesota's on a 3-game losing streak right now. The Clippers are currently 3-4 against the spread, so not great. I always do this to myself, Ryan. Jesus Christ. And then Minnesota sucks. They are 2-5 against the spread. So this is one of those days where I ran out of time before and I didn't write down every stat that I actually wanted to write down. So I'm like searching through all these tabs when it's like right in front of my face. As you can see, these glasses are pretty thick, ladies and gentlemen. I'm blind. Minnesota's 2-5 against the spread. One of the worst teams in the NBA against the spread, only hitting at 28.6% rate. That's really what I'm riding with here. They did just play last night, and I think the Clippers won by like 15. It was like 127 to 114, 115, some shit like that. So I'm taking the Clippers to do it again tonight. Minus 2.5. I believe Kawhi is back as well. And D'Angelo Russell is out for Minnesota tonight. So those are my 2 legs. Ryan, now it's your turn.
All right. Well, I talked about this fight earlier, but I'm going to go with the Gaethje money line versus Chandler. I think this will be a good fight, but I think Gaethje comes back and he wants to win. He's hungry. So I took the money line. I know it's, minus 225, but when you put that together with 3 other picks in a parlay, it turns out pretty good. Plus 879 is pretty solid and it's got a good chance of hitting. But I just really like Gaethje in this fight to win. Who knows how he'll do it, but I think he'll get it done. And then I'm going to go Diggs over 82.5 receiving yards. So the only thing that I'm worried is he's only gone over 82.5 twice this year. But I think against the Jaguars, it's definitely a possibility. And plus, if we make it to that pick on Sunday, then you can always just hedge. So
Yeah, you can always hedge. You could always, if your sports book gives you the option of cashing out early, you could do that as well. I mean, if you're a pussy, but let's see. This is the week. I'm feeling it. Pittsburgh over 42.5 points. Clippers -2.5 at Minnesota tonight on Friday. Gaethje money line versus Michael Chandler -225 on Saturday at UFC 268. And then on Sunday, Stephon Diggs over 82.5 yards -117. That is the Bills versus the Jaguars. Total for you plus 879. Nice little chunk of change there for you if it hits. I swear to you, one of these times it's going to hit. It is going to hit. We've got a new parlay coming each week. I know I teased earlier on the show this week, if you caught it, that we were going to have guests. We're going to have guests next week. Lucas Wilson and Grant Baker will join the show. I think we're going to do a little Maloney's Moneyline Week 10 in prime time on Friday night. Going to be a little later, not during the day. So those guys can join us there. I mean, that'll be a wild little foursome we've got going there. I think Grant said he's going to bring some hockey picks to the table. We might get some golf picks from Luke. So we will see. We will see. But as far as this week goes, we thank you all for tuning in. We thank you all for listening, whether it's on our YouTube, youtube.com/The Brew Party. Make sure you like this video and subscribe on the road to 100 subscribers. You can also find this video, the replay, on our Twitter. We are on Twitter at The Brew Party. We're also on Instagram at The Brew Party. And we can also find this video on our Facebook, facebook.com/The Brew Party Podcast. Or if you don't like the video, you prefer to listen, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Pandora, Amazon Music, literally wherever you get your podcasts, just search The Brew Party and we are there. You can go to www.thebrewparty.com. It's got ways to listen to all of our episodes directly on the website or to your favorite podcast player, links to support the show, links to all of our social media, ways to find everything, www.thebrewparty.com. This is episode 85 of the Brew Party Podcast. We are getting there. Huge guest coming on Monday. We've got an interview during the week, and then we have our Maloney's Moneyline next Friday. Stay tuned for that. Also, new affiliate as well. I was hoping to be able to do the ad read today, but our promo code is not live just yet. But so we will have that, a promo code for I guess I'll just say it now. We are an affiliate of BetUS Sportsbook, BETUS Sportsbook. Check them out, betus.com. Coming next week, we will have a special Brew Party promo code that I think will get you a 125% bonus on your first deposit. I have to double check into that, but we are super, super excited to be promoting BetUS and excited to be using it ourselves as well. So, this is Maloney's Moneyline on the Brew Party Podcast, episode number 85. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube. Follow the Facebook, follow the Twitter, follow the Instagram. Make sure you follow From the Stands, at From the Stands US on Twitter, and From the Stands Sports on Facebook. Also, follow Edging the Truth, new conspiracy theory podcast, brand new episode coming out on the 11th, November 11th, on Bigfoot. That is the topic for episode 2. That is not wherever you get your podcast. We're still working to get to Apple. Just go to www.edgingthetruth.com. We are on all social media platforms at Edging the Truth. Give us a follow. Subscribe to the YouTube as well. Trying to build that up. Super excited about that new project with my buddies. So, Ryan, thank you as always for being here. Looking forward to UFC 268. Looking forward to this weekend of football. And, of course, texting you and complaining about my bets. So, for Ryan Maloney, I'm Andy Hopper. This is the Brew Party Podcast. You guys take it easy.
Take it easy.
Or sleazy.